Hi everybody, it's Marcus Collins from MA Properties. So 2023 is done. We are now in early 2024 when I'm recording this video, and in many respects 2024 real estate market has already started. Cold outside but not that much snow, and that means the buyers are beginning to kind of surface. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So this evening I'm going to be looking at the Lexington condominium market, specifically what happened in 2023, and get our crystal ball out a little bit, what's going to happen with this market and with the market in general really for 2024. So let's jump on in to that market. I'm going to show you lots of information this evening, lots of graphs, specifically around condominiums in Lexington. But there's a lot more information, not just about Lexington condominiums, but Lexington single family, and also about 50 other towns, an array of statistics which will give you a very detailed insight in terms of what's happening with that real estate market, be you a buyer and or a seller. If you go to our website, maproperties.com, go to the statistics tab, you will see a screen something similar to this, where there are about 20 different statistics for the market, say for about 50 different towns. So lots and lots of information on our website, specifically around other towns, as well as the town of Lexington as well. As well as that, coming to a mailbox soon, if you're actually living in Lexington, we're going to produce early February now the Lexington Market Review 2023-2024. A lot more information about single family, about the luxury market, what's happening with new construction, the condominium market of course, and then our predictions for what we see going to happen in 2024 in a lot more detail than I'm going to go through in this relatively short video. So expect that in mailboxes if you live in Lexington in February. It'll be on our website as well, and if you actually want a copy, just reach out to us and we can get you a copy of that. So that's our market review. So this evening I'm going to talk about condominiums, going to give you kind of sense of what's happening in the market, no surprise, interest rates, I guess, but also then a little some predictions about where we see the market going in 2024. So condominiums. First thing I want to look at is condominiums sold. How many condominiums sold? So this graph is broken down by existing condominiums, 5 Foot Lane, Potter Pond, and so on, and the new construction developments. And that's the green bars you see here. So there's a lot of variability in the market, but not actually that much if you take out the new construction condominiums. 2020 we had 42 sales, higher in 2021 because of COVID, the kind of the secondary effects of COVID in terms of people moving, that kind of churn in the market that we saw during that period. 53 condominium sales in 2022 and 52 condominium sales in 2023. Now, that may not seem kind of ho-hum, but actually when you compare it to the single family market and you compare it to the headlines you've heard around the country of the housing market basically stalled because sellers are not putting their homes on the market. The condominium market, specifically the existing condominium market, saw relatively buoyant, in fact, roughly the same number of sales in 2023 from 2022, which is, as I say, a dramatic difference from what we've seen specifically in Lexington single family, but not just in Lexington, specifically in Arlington too. We've seen a big reduction in the number of sales in 2023 in comparison to prior years, prior couple of years, but we bucked that trend here in Lexington, which is a very positive thing. In terms of the number of condominiums listed, actually we saw a lot more listed in 2022, but remember we need to kind of take out the new construction from here. That was the difference. So almost every condominium home that was put on the market actually sold in 2023. That definitely wasn't the case in the single family market. There were a lot that came on the market that didn't actually sell, were taken off the market, and presumably will come back on the market, as here we are in 2024. So number of existing condominiums actually roughly similar to what we saw in 2022. Days on the market, again, around about the same. In fact, slight reduction. We saw a relatively big increase in that days on the market for single family. So the condominium market, on the face of it, looks very buoyant, even with the interest rates being as high as they are. The condominium market seems to have bucked that or got over that issue quite well, predominantly because of its price point. I think it's fair to say it's at a much lower price point than the single family market, and so was less impacted by rising interest rates. So to buy a condominium is less of a financial outlay than it is to buy a single family. So that's why the condominium market survived relatively well in 2023 in comparison to other markets. So reduced number of days on the market, slightly reduced number of sale price to list price ratio. It never got as high as the single family home market. Even during COVID, we were at 107, 109% for single family. There was definitely a tendency or a desire, if you will, for buyers to buy into single family, specific during that period. But still, 102% is still over 100. Remember that this ratio is, imagine a home comes on the market at 800,000, it sells for 800,000, that's 100% sale price to list price ratio. And so 102 shows there was moderate competition for the condominiums that came on the market. So positive number, even though slightly reduced from what we saw last year. In fact, slightly reduced, but inconsistent with what we saw in the second half of 2022. Because if you think about interest rate rises, it really began to kick in the second half of 22 and then continued in 2023. And so that 102 is consistent with what we saw in the second half of 2022. The sale price to list ratio by month is there's no trend with this because there are so few condominium sales in comparison to single family, for example. A lot of variability in this. Can't really derive anything from this. Just a lot of variability we see within the month-by-month data. So we can't actually derive anything from that, really. Average prices. What most people wanted to know about, of course, a moderate increase in that prices from 853 to 885. So almost no price appreciation per se. Although we did see, slowly but surely, some increases over 2021 to 2023, but not that dramatic a rise. 805 in 2021, 853 in 2022, and now 883 in 2023. For comparison, the single-family home market saw 3% price appreciation between 2021 and 2023. So to put that in comparison to the single-family home market in Lexington. So what's happened in the market? Unsurprisingly, no surprise here, of course, it really is around interest rates. These are the interest rates from 2010, and you can see that dramatic rise in 2022, continuing in 2023. And this really did have a stalling effect, not just on the Lexington market, although not really with condominiums, but certainly on single family, but really the real estate market in general, and specifically because sellers bought at 2, 3, 4%. And now if they want to move to their new home, all of a sudden their interest rate rises from those very low numbers, historically very low numbers, all the way up to 6.5 or 7, maybe even higher. And that really did put the dampers, the brakes, if you will, on the real estate market throughout the US, as well as here in Massachusetts. And that's how it played out. The reason the 2023 was so poor for many markets is, as you can see here, I've broken this down from 2020 through 2024. You can see that interest rates were continuing to rise in 2023. What's interesting, of course, is that the latter part, and by the latter part I mean the last month, of 2023, interest rates began to decline. And what we were saying in 2023 was this. Once we see a sustained reduction in interest rates, not just a 1 month they've reduced, but a sustained reduction, we will see more confidence coming back into the market. And we will see that in all markets, be it the single family and or the condominium market, we'll see more buyers coming into the market, potentially more sellers, certainly in single family, perhaps within condominiums, more sellers coming into the market because they feel confident to move into their next home, if you would like, which for in the case of condominiums might be a condominium to a single family as their family gets larger, for example. So we will begin to see more sellers coming into the market, and of course buyer confidence will come back too. But we really do need to see a sustained reduction in interest rates, and I think it will take a little bit before that happens. A couple of months, I guess, is my thoughts on this. In terms of their interest rate predictions, the predictions for what they're worth, I would treat these with something of a pinch of salt, if I'm being honest. We've watched these for a long time, and they're not particularly accurate. I've only gone to the end of 2024 here. There's no point looking at what 2025 brings. There's too much variability, too much risk in that, too much uncertainty in that. The Mortgage Bankers Association, which is the data you see here, is predicting that we'll be around 6% by the end of the year. Many people, I think, hope it'll be before that. And I think much of the other talk around what else is going on in the country, the election, for example, I think it has a minimal impact on the market. What really has an impact on the market are those interest rates. And as they come down, so more sellers will come into the market, and buyers will have increased competition. And kind of as we begin to kind of roll back out of COVID, we're really getting back to the normal cycle of the real estate market, driven in large part by first-time home buyers, specifically in the condominium market, at a lower price point. For example, the average price of a single-family home in Lexington is 1.8. The average of a condominium is about 880,000. So there's a big price difference between those two types of homes. And so that's a great first-time home buyer market, allowing existing condominium owners to move into single family or to move to another town. So that's kind of the effect of the single family, of the first-time home buyers, But we've also got those downsizers moving out of the relatively large homes into smaller homes, be it a condo, be it another town, and that kind of frees up some capacity in the market too. So we're getting back to that normal cycle where we were pre-COVID of first-time home buyers kind of driving the market, downsizers freeing up capacity for first, second, or third movers as well. So what do we see in terms of 2024? So, in terms of sellers, we will see more sellers in the market, that's fair, just because they're being constrained to some extent because of their unwillingness, perhaps, maybe an inability, but certainly unwillingness to move to a home with a much higher interest rate. So we will begin to see more sellers coming into the market. In terms of the buyers, as interest rates come down, and they show that trend downwards, we will begin to see buyer confidence rise. So I think it'll be a little spotty, a little patchy at the beginning of 2024 until things settle down. But once we see interest rates come down, hopefully we do, all the indications are we will, but we'll see over what time frame, as interest rates come down, so buyer confidence will come back up. But it's worth remembering this, though, that buyers are still constrained by price. Interest rates are not 2, 3, 4%. They're 6 to 6.5%. And that does put a financial limit on what buyers can buy. And we will begin to see that play out in terms of sale price to list price ratio, for example. They're unable to offer some of the prices or some of the over asking prices we saw in the past. And so, with that kind of inability really to offer those prices, what it means for today's sellers is they need to be smart about putting their home on the market. If you think, I won't bother painting, the sellers will paint when they move in. Well, no. Maybe they did in the past, vast majority did not, just so you know. But they will not be able to now because they simply won't be able to afford it. And so creating a product that today's buyers want, staging it, marketing it, making it, that home that they absolutely have to have, perhaps pushing their budget to the max because they really want that home. That's going to be the key to getting top dollar in this market. As you say, we've seen around about 3% price appreciation in Lexington. That's not that high. Be cautious about price. It is not the COVID market, that's clear. Price, if anything, has the biggest impact on a home selling. It's the price is the key one. You have to get that right. But also everything else kind of plays into this too. So in terms of sellers, be cognizant of the fact that today's buyers, whilst they want to buy, are not necessarily able to pay the prices that today's sellers may think their home is worth. And so creating that product is key to getting top dollar and for actually the home selling. So that's the 2024 predictions. Looking positive, we'll know more as the next couple of months play out. So I want to say thank you for listening. Look out for our market review in mailboxes or on our website, or if you haven't want a copy of it, please reach out to us. We can absolutely get you a copy of that. So with that, I'll say thank you for watching and look forward to talking to you next time we do the market review. Bye.